Welcome back to Candid with Claudia, episode 2, where real stories meet raw resilience. I am your host, Claudia Cubillos, and every week we dive into cross-generational stories that too often go unheard. From Gen Alpha to Boomers, each week our guests open up about the setbacks they faced, the grit it took to rise, and the breakthroughs that changed everything. If they can do it, so can you. Lean in, get inspired, and let's get candid. Welcome back to Candid with Claudia, and today we have, tengo el honor de introducir a una amiga que he conocido recientemente, pero en un poco tiempo nos hemos puesto así, right?
Yes, definitely.
So I want to welcome Dr. Marino. Dr. Griselle Marino works from Miami-Dade County. She is, how I met her, she is the program director for the Hispanic Heritage Advisory Board of Miami-Dade County, where I'm a proud member representing District 3. She is the program director. I had the pleasure of meeting her in June of this year. And it feels like I've known you since June of 1999. The amount of work that you've done to transform our board, how I've gotten to know you and the work that you've done even before I knew you, impressed. And I'm like, she has to be here today. She has to be here because she made the reality in Miami-Dade County one of the best Hispanic Heritage Month that we just finished closing. She made it come to life. She made it a reality. She got everybody working, and we are going to find out how she did that. So welcome. How are you?
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. I would not have anybody else sitting with me today because I was been so impressed by who you are, and what you do and how you do it. And so I want our audience, I know you, I know the amazing work that you have done. Tell us a little bit about who you are, where you come from, and your journey from journalism to now working in Miami-Dade County as a public servant.
Well, I'm a Cuban American. I came from Cuba when I was 10 years old, and I studied journalism. I graduated from FIU back in 1983.
Go Paths.
Yes. And so in my last semester, I did an internship with Channel 23, and then I was offered a job to work at the Simon desk. Back then, Mirna Sonora was the news director, and she's now with Prospera. I don't know if you know her, but I didn't see her like for 30 years, and then I just saw her recently a few months ago.
Very nice.
So then I went to work for Radio Caracol, which was the Colombian station. And because I was only 10 years old when I came over here and I studied in English, my journalism degree, so they helped me so much to refine my Spanish. You know, they pronounce all the S's and the Colombian.
Very nice, very nice.
So I worked, working for Radio Caracol, I had the opportunity to interview back then in 1993, Ross Perot, presidential candidate. Violeta Chamorro was the president of Nicaragua. I covered the Miami angle of the death of Pablo Escobar, which was a big news for Radio Caracol.
Oh, yes.
And
big news everywhere at that time.
Yes.
I don't know if any of you have seen Narcos. I actually love that series. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. And then in years went by, and I went to work for Telemundo. And I was able to do like impressive stories, like investigative stories. I had a wonderful producer, Terry Arvisu, who's now on our board 25 years later. I'm working with her.
Very nice. Okay. Now
Yes.
I see the connection. And I believe in that role you went to Cuba, where you had an impact doing something.
Well, it was earlier.
Okay.
It was in 1983 that I went to Cuba, undercover, and I went into Los Cocos. Los Cocos was a center where they had people who were HIV positive. Like they wouldn't let them to be outside with society, with their friends, with their family. They have to be like imprisoned in a hospital setting. So in front of the director of the center, the patients told me, "Oh, this is very good." But then when they gave me a tour of the facility, they said, "Please help us. We don't want. We're responsible. We don't want to make anyone sick, but please help us get out of here." So I came back, and Rick Sanchez had the most viewership at the time.
Did. Oh, yes, he did.
With Channel 7. So I gave them my product, my work, and Rick Sanchez aired the story.
And through your work, they ended up closing the center.
Yes, after years, it went to United Nations, and after years.
Amazing.
Yes.
Congratulations. I was really impressed when I read that. That's amazing.
Yes.
Wow. So it doesn't surprise me when I was reading your bio and I saw all the work that you did. Two things came to my mind. I'm like, she definitely is a Gen X like me, because I just think that we were born at a time where we didn't have distractions. So we either worked, went to school, we were busy, right? And so when I see you now as a program director, and again, I have the honor of being on the board, emails at 1 o'clock in the morning, we're here. So it comes natural to you. And do you think it's a part of the generation that we grew up in?
I believe so.
Yes,
I mean, in news, it's very fast paced.
Yes.
Then I went to work for commissioners.
Yes.
And it's like nonstop work.
Yes.
And in my office, we have 12 advisory boards. So before I took this role in June, I was working in communications for the 12 advisory boards. So it's always been a lot of work, but it's like part of me. I'm used to it.
So multitasking is not definitely foreign to you. You're completely aware and you're completely familiar with a multitasking because you manage the communication for all 12 boards?
Correct.
So that's why you do this with the Breeze, because now you only manage one board and you're like, oh, I can do this on my eyes closed, which pretty much you do, because we're getting emails from you 1 o'clock, and look at all the amazing events that you put together. So, if no one is giving you a round of applause here at Candid with Claudia, we're giving her a round of applause, because I have truly met the most amazing people in the last 30 days, and actually the last 60 days since you've been the program director. I've participated in most of all these events. Tell us, how did you make this happen? How did you get all of us to work together? We can't forget something. Hold on. You just had surgery.
Yes.
So not only were you in a new position, you were recovering from surgery, which, by the way, I think the doctor told you to take, 2 months off, and you took 10 days off, right? Okay, you took 10 days off. So how did you find that fight? How did you make this a reality? How did you put together this entire thing, get 13 commissioners to work with you, put a board together? Because when I was there, we had like 6 members. Now we have like 35 or something like that. I'm exaggerating.
We have like 18. Yes.
All right. So go ahead. Talk to me. How did all this come to be? Recovering from a surgery.
Thank you. So I had hysterectomy and
oh wow, I didn't know that. Okay, well, I didn't know.
Yes, it's open.
Okay.
I think that there's so much, and I also had prolapse repair. And I think women's health, I mean, we're so complex when compared to men.
Yes.
And there's so much awareness, and there's so much need to be out there. I didn't know so many things, and I'm now writing a book about it, the younger generations, those girls in their 20s and the 30s, they can prevent what happened to me. Because even though I had an education, a journalist, like I'm always reading, I didn't know that all these things happen with menopause, that as we lose estrogen, that everything falls apart.
Well, I will say to you that, very candidly, that is definitely another segment. Because I do believe that there is an awareness for women. I do believe that there's an awareness as we go through every decade, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, what we experience is different. And I believe that an open forum with that conversation is helpful. So you have to let us know when you launch that book, because you will be back here in Candid with Claudia, so we can talk about that. And I welcome that conversation, because mental health, women's health, is incredibly important to me. I'm the last of 7 sisters, and so women's health is incredibly important. So we're going to come back on that segment. So let's go back a little bit about your health and how you made this all come to life, and how you got all these the collaboration of all the commissioners.
Yes, the doctor gave me a letter to be tranquilita.
Claro, pero tranquilita por 10 días. No, bueno, dale.
So then I connected back. I came back to work virtually after 10 days, and physically after 3 weeks, because I wanted to do a Hispanic Heritage Month filled with events.
Yeah,
I knew all these community partners, and the ones that I didn't know, that I wanted to reach out to them. What I did was, like, through social media, I posted that I was now the program director for Hispanic Affairs Advisory Board, with an idea, like, to get community partners like this, like, come to me, because more people know me than what I know them. Yeah. So I knew exactly what I wanted to accomplish. The commissioners, of course, I wanted to, any commissioner that was having an event, they needed to be part of our calendar. And I reached out to the 13 commissioners now. We have the constitutional officers. I reached out to them as well.
Amazing.
So I'm happy of the work we did throughout this month.
Well, you need to be incredibly proud. And I might be saying it over and over in this episode because coming from being a former mayor, from working for a company where I did event planning and owning my business, I know what it takes to make this happen, and it's not easy. And when I look at the board that you have put together, and I will loosely say that you put it together because I believe you did, I see a wide range of ages, and I love that. I believe our chair is a millennial. I think she's about maybe
30 years old. I can say it because she says it.
Okay, 30. So we have a wide range. How do you feel that cross-generation of ages in our board helps you put something like this together? Like their wisdom or the input. It's very different listening to a 30-year-old and, listening to a 50-year-old. How does that help you?
Yes, so we have our chair who's 30 years old, and then we have all ages in between. And we have somebody who's in his 80s, and he's still active.
Love that.
And his wisdom, it's incredible, valuable. I mean, he's been through things that none of us have been through. So it's important to listen to them. And then I see her spark. I see her energy. And I love that. So it's merging and getting the best of everything, because also everyone on the board, we come from a different background.
Yes.
Not only in ethnicity, because we have Colombians, Cubans, Peruvians, but also in our roles. I come from a journalism world, and then others, the public service like you. So it's important how we've merged and how we've evolved and how we listen to everyone.
Yeah, I've always been impressed in the recent meetings that I attend, because I'm sitting there, I'm picturing in my head right now when we were at Doral and we were at that board meeting, the wide range in ages. And to me, there's so much to be said about that. Forget the fact that we come all from a different culture, but we're all Hispanic. And there's a lot of energy naturally in the room because we're all Hispanic. But when I see the wide range in ages, what I love the most is exactly what you said. I see so much respect. I see when someone is speaking that the younger generation will be like, I see their face, but like, I didn't really think of it that way. But then when you hear the younger generation talk, like Carla, or I can't remember the other person's name right now, but you're thinking, oh, yeah, well, that makes sense too. So there's a sense of just enlightening in the room, and you need to applaud yourself because you've helped us put together that wide range of ages and generations in one table that really helps this come to reality because, hey, let's talk about your kickoff.
Yes.
Let's talk about the kickoff to Hispanic Heritage Month.
Yes, I'm super happy of the way it worked out.
Yes. How many dignitaries did you have that day?
Well, reserved. I'm not even sure how many came because I was so busy. I heard my name being Griselle, and I didn't know where to look. So we had more than 30. We had about 33 that reserved.
Yes.
And then from 25 different countries. So I was shocked because I sent it to the Miami Consular Corp, and I was only expecting those from Hispanic countries to respond that they wanted to be part of it. But then I had Bangladesh, I had Morocco, I had Jamaica.
You had Colombia there.
Yes, Netherlands.
Very nice.
So all this UK, so all these other countries that are non-Hispanic that they wanted to be a part there. Of it. And of course, I met the dean of the Miami Consular Corp, the consul from Guatemala, the consul from Peru. He was like, I want to do something next year. Yeah. And we've already, because of all of this, we've already established the next year, save the date, is going to be September 15, 2026.
Love it.
At 11 a.m.
I love
at the Stephen P. Clark building.
I love it. Very good. Very good. Now, when I think of the Hispanic Heritage Kickoff, I've lived in Miami since I was 5. And I've been pretty involved with public service for the last 20 years. But I have not attended something like that. I thought it was empowering, enriching, inviting, the diverse culture that was there with the people. Everybody was happy. So congratulations.
Thank you.
When you take a look at the last 30 days and the success that you've had as a program director, how many proclamations did we receive out of all the 34 cities? Like 12? How many?
Like 14.
14.
Yes.
That's impressive.
Yes.
That's impressive. That's very
nice.
nice.
We have a congressional record.
Yes.
We have the one that they gave to you and to the portal.
Very
we
nice.
Have them here.
He's very kind. So, when I take a look at all of that, and I'm going to put you in the spot for a minute because you're going to be like, no, you can't do this to me. When you take a look of the success that you had in the 30 days, what was your favorite event?
It's hard to pick one. I mean, our kickoff, of course. I mean, the Marlins. The Marlins, that was so much fun. Going to a Marlins game with my board. And then, we had so many important events like a citizenship drive. We had Noche en España with the...
That was amazing.
Yes.
That was 100%.
That was with the Hispanic Association.
Hispanic Nurses.
The Hispanic Nurses Association. And one of our board members is the president of that organization. So we were there supporting him and all of the nurses. And the idea of the event is to fundraise to give a scholarship money to the younger generations that want to be nurses. And we know how important they are. I mean, we just had COVID.
100%. And when you take a look back at the last 30 days, what are you most proud of? And what is now something you've learned that you're going to do differently for September of 2026?
Well, what am I most proud of? I'm most proud of the diversity because we not only had festivals and parties, but we also had important information, important conversations through Hispanic Unity, that they have so many virtual and in person, like this one, Mejore su crédito personal. Who else, we all need to have a good credit score, but it's hard and it's complex and it's 3 credit bureaus. And so they teach all these things that is important. But aprenda a comprar su primera casa, like valuable information that it's necessary, how to buy your first home. And the county offers a wide of resources that people don't know how to take advantage of it with lower interest rates. And so there's so much. So I'm proud of the diversity that we had. And we had a procurement event with Senator Garcia at Mylander Park.
Yes.
How to do business with the county.
That was amazing. That was amazing. So, let our audience and viewers know, because you said something that's very true. Many residents have lived here for a long time, but I think they have this fear or, oh my God, I don't know who to call. But the county does have resources. What can you tell our viewers today? Should they call their county commissioner? Should there be an office that they call? What should a resident of Miami-Dade County do to get more information? Because while Hispanic Heritage Month is now over, and there is a slew of events that were all absolutely fantastic, and how to buy your first home, like how valuable is that? There was another one, how to do business with the government, which is amazing. Where can they find information? What can you tell our viewers? If it's not a festival, if it's not an actual month of celebration going on, where can they go? How can they get information?
Okay, so we highlighted all this for this month, but the programs are year round.
Yeah. And that's where I think people fail to realize. So what do you recommend if they're looking to information? Where should they go?
They could call their county commissioner's office for information, or they could call 311.
311, okay.
311, it's now in social media. 311 is now through email and on the phone. Okay. And they speak English, Spanish, Creole, and they're the source. I know because I have access to that information hub that, you call on the phone and you ask whatever. They type in and it comes up. Okay. So they are like the artificial intelligence of the county. Okay. So that would be a great
So they call 311 and it'll guide them to the next prompt as to where they can go if they don't want to reach their county commissioner 311. So
yes, because procurement events, we have them through, they could just Google Miami-Dade County Procurement, Vendor Academy, Vendor Outreach, and it comes through it. But if they struggle,
good to know.
They can just find out by calling 311.
Yeah, because I believe that there's a slew of services that the county can help residents with that I don't think the residents are fully maximizing that opportunity. Now that Hispanic Heritage Month is over, what's next for the board?
So we've partied enough for this 30
Partied
years.
enough? No, we didn't do that. We worked hard.
No, we attended to a lot of celebrations.
Yes.
We received a lot of proclamations, But the proclamations is not just, to hang them on the wall and to say, here they are. They're much more than frames. They are like when we went to receive them to their city, the municipality, we created a bond with that municipality. They know where we are. They know what we're all about. And that just opens the door to future collaboration. So coming up in 2026, we want to work with helping those foreign nationals who come over here from Colombia, Venezuela, Cuba, and they're doctors, nurses, they're professionals, helping them revalidate their degrees. And we have 2 education experts in our board. I've also met with the consul from Spain. She's new, and she offers some insight as to the Universidad de Salamanca. So
I'm familiar with them.
Then the Florida Association of Hispanic Journalists, they also have academia that can help in the process. And they've done it with universities in Spain, with some universities over here. Miami-Dade College has a program. So there are little loopholes and there are little things that sometimes you got to take some few classes or credits in order to make your degree work over here.
Yeah.
I also want to bring attention to health. FIU, they have a health program for people that are uninsured. And so I want to bring awareness to that. So then it's open to the board, where we are, where the need is. Like I came back.
By district?
Yes.
Within your district, okay.
So I came back on July 8th, and then we had our first immigration committee meeting on July 15th because we had everything about ICE taking place at the moment. So there was a big concern from the board. So we had a committee meeting.
Yes.
So there's a lot to be done from the immigration committee. But right now we've been busy with the Hispanic Heritage Month events that we had planned already. So that would be something else too.
So it'd be important for the board members to work with the county commissioner, see what their district needs, and then maybe we can do something along the lines. And that's what the Hispanic Affairs Advisory Board will continue on until the next celebration of next year for September 26th. I love it. What does, Candid with Claudia is a possibility of reality. We have this belief that everyone has a dream about the possibility of making something a reality in their life. But most people don't do the work it takes to make it a reality. When I read your bio, I believe you definitely have. So my question I have for you is, what is your possibility to reality? What is something that you have, a challenge you faced that you've come through, that you've worked it out, a setback that maybe came into your life that you didn't think you were going to really recover from, and you did. Tell us a little bit of what possibility of reality means to you.
Well, I think the life of an immigrant is filled with challenges. I came when I was 10 years old. I didn't know English. The kids bullied me in school. But then in junior high, I had a French teacher, Teresita Rodriguez, that I admire her so much. I wanted to be so much like her. I emulated her mannerism, and I took French through junior high, through high school, through college, because I really loved the language. She would tell us, go to la boulangerie de la Mall, have a coffee, and then a café au lait, and a croissant, a croque monsieur. So then, you would pretend to be in France. But then I was lucky enough to work for Pan Am, the original Pan Am, right out of high school, and I was able to do that and to go to Paris and to do that lifestyle. So I think it's all challenges, in the personal arena. I raised my kids on my own. My mom had breast cancer. There's so many setbacks in life, and sometimes, so many people plan, for their life to go this way, this way, this way. And you can't do that. You just got to write it out. Face it as it goes.
So what do you think is one thing that has stuck with you, that has helped you write it out? What discipline do you choose or use? Is it faith? Is it music? Is it working out? Or is it just being a Gen Xer. Like we just keep, that's all we know. We just keep going. What do you think it is for you? Because
it's a combination of all of those, but definitely my strong faith in God. Like I've known, like in the darkest of times, like one of my sons, for example, he turned 2 and he wasn't speaking. So I took him to a doctor and they said autism. And then I took him to another doctor, Dr. Tuchman, in the Dan Marino Center. And then he said, no, some kids just get confused with the languages. And that's what it was happening to him. But if I had listened to one doctor, then I would have thought it would have been that. So then they told me, put him in after school care, switch just to English because that's the language of, and then at home with La Abuelita, it's all in Spanish. But then, so just different challenges that we all go through. And especially, being a single mom, being a woman, it's I worked for the fire department in the county. It's a male dominated, that's why I give it all to Rosie Cordero Stutz, because she's been able to, as a woman, to go all the way to the top. Yeah. So it's hard.
Even though times have changed tremendously, when I was the mayor in 2014, I served as mayor for 6 years. I sat on a board for the Miami-Dade County League of Cities, and I was the only woman in that executive board. And so while times have changed tremendously, when you talk about Rosie, we're talking now, 11 years later, and Rosie does that position, and I applaud her for what she does and how she does it, right? But kudos. And I think it's important for the generations that are coming ahead, the Gen X, even some of them, the younger millennials, and definitely the Gen Alpha, to hear from some generations such as ours and even the baby boomers, because I do believe that we had the same challenges they have today, but we didn't have the resources that they have today. We didn't have the distractions that they have today. We just had ourselves and our own grit, and we're just figuring out, and parents that didn't let you just get stuck there. I believe we were raised to just, you got to keep going. And I knew about your mother. God bless her. She's so amazing. I met her, and they're twin sisters. They're so beautiful. You're very blessed. I don't have my mom and dad with me anymore, but you are very blessed to have your mother, and that's powerful.
And my dad is 89 years old, and he God continues to work full time. And the day he stops working.
But you see what I mean? That's amazing. I got to stop you right there, because one of the things that we did recently with my amazing team, we interviewed different generations, and we had a Gen Zer. And you know what she said? I love her. She goes, she was asked, if you could be another generation, what do you want to be right now? And she's like, I want to be 50 and retired. I was like, I want to know, she goes, when you're 50, you're not going to be retired. Your dad is 89 and he's still working. God bless her.
Yes, it's his own business. But still, so you don't have a boss saying, you get deadlines and all of that.
That's amazing.
Because you can take off for doctor's appointments. But if he stops working, he dies, because that's like purpose. The same way that many abuelitas, the purpose is to be cocinando and taking care of the kids. You take away their purpose, and that's it. They're gone.
So, last question, which I think is the best way to kind of turn this over. What advice would you give the future generation? What would you, if you had Gen Alphas all listening to us today, if you had Gen Zers all listening to us today, and if you had the younger millennial listening to us today, what advice from the best generation that exists, and that is Gen X, because I am a proud Gen X, what advice do you, what words of wisdom, what golden nugget do you leave them?
Well, our music was the best.
Our music was the best. 80s and 90s grunge, the best. They all try to copy that now, right? Now I don't go to clubs anymore, but I have 22 nieces and nephews. And so sometimes I accompany to different places. And when you go to different places, they play the songs that we listen to, like Living on a Prayer from Bon Jovi, Sweet Caroline. Well, that's before my time. But anyway, our music was the best.
Van Halen and Def Leppard.
They play all that now at the clubs and the restaurants.
What I don't recognize, Claudia, maybe you can help me here. All these kids that want to be musicians, why don't they pick up rock? I mean,
now it's rap. Now I don't really know what they're saying. That's a whole other segment. I'm going to have some alphas and some young Gen Zers, which is going to be in a couple episodes from now. We're going to have to ask them, talk to us about the music.
So going back to your question, I started with typewriters. We needed to learn the keyboard and the typewriting, but then it helped when we went to computers. when when I had a question, I had to go to the library and, look for the index cards and the Encyclopedia Britannica and
Remember
read.
that? Now they have AI and Google. So unfair, right?
So now it's much easier with AI and Google. But at the same time, I'm concerned that we're not thinking as much as we were. I mean, I welcome everything AI has, but because I've done the hard work and I'm tired. So it's nice to have AI. But I'm concerned about the younger generation that they use it and then their brain does not respond the same way. So I just asked them to step back for a moment and to try to do what AI does so fast, to try to do it themselves. So they could just, and to, like back then, writing was such an important skill.
Right? Remember you had to learn cursive?
Yes.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore. Now it's tablets. They have to,
Yeah, and then writing, it's something that you could take to any profession, to any. So right now, AI does the writing for you. So it's just a little bit concerning. So with the digital generation, but I think it's great that they're doing that.
Well, they say that Gen Alpha is going to be raised in one of the most high-tech generations that there is right now. So on that note, before we close, we're going to have a little fun. On my phone. All right. So this is we're all about generations. Let's see what we know. So in our time, do you remember what slangs there was for the Gen Xers? So I remember I think the one that I used the most was all that in a bag of chips. Did you ever use that? That was more like it means somebody who thinks that they're all that in a bag of chips. So I used all that, like they thought they were all that. They were like hot stuff. Whatever. That was big in our generation. I don't know if it was for you. Take a chill pill.
Yes, definitely.
That was the take a chill pill.
Yeah.
Dope. I never got into the whole dope thing. All right, let's look at millennials. Millennials, which are the generation right after us, they would say FOMO. Do you know what FOMO stands for?
No, but my kids probably do.
Fear of missing out.
Sometimes I just have to tell them, what does this mean?
FOMO. So it's they capitalize FOMO.
Okay.
And it means fear of missing out. Then that's where YOLO came from. You know what YOLO is?
The fear, someone told me her name is Maria Montoya. I don't know if you know her. She was a very important newscaster in Telemundo. Now that you mentioned fear, I wanted to thank her if she's watching.
She will be watching.
So she told me when I went to work in news and I had to go live and I was so scared, she said, feel the fear and do it. And I've taken that to every challenge in my life. I felt the fear and I've done it. So thank you, Maria.
I love that. The best learning comes when you're struggling. And you don't learn out of boredom. You learn out of fear. And you learn out of struggling to something. So FOMO. Fear of missing out. YOLO, you only live once. That's where it came from. I didn't even know that. Okay, look at that. Now the Gen Z, this gets really interesting. We're gonna talk about Gen Z a little bit because Gen Z says cap, no cap. Do you know what that means?
No.
No, we're gonna learn together. Cap means to lie, while no cap means to be truthful.
Oh, I had no idea.
Okay. They still use lit, which is popular. The millennials came up with that. It means excellent or super great. Tea. Give me the tea. I hear my people say that. They give me the gossip.
Chisme.
Chisme. Okay. Sus. My kid says that. He's not even Gen Z. He's Alpha. Sus means short for suspect.
Oh, really?
Or suspicious.
Okay.
Interesting. Now, Alpha. We'll cover Alphas and then we wrap up. Okay, Alpha. So look at this because everything comes back. Like our music is coming back.
How about the cat's pajamas or the bee's knees?
What's that? What generation is that?
That's baby boomers.
Oh, I didn't. I didn't look at that. Really? So tell us the baby boomer.
So the bee's knees, like I heard it once in an old movie, and I said, what is that? So it's like very good. You're the bee's knees. You're like super. You're awesome.
Really?
Yes. Or the cat's pajamas. It's also the same thing.
Oh, look at that. I learned something. That's what I love about this. Okay, stand by. All right, Alpha. Alpha says, look, in the Alpha generation, which is the current generation, anybody born after 2010, they use FOMO. They're going back with fear of missing out. It's coming back.
Don't miss out. Just go for it.
They're using Alpha uses simp. What is simp? They use to show excessive affection. Whatever. And bussing. Used to describe something that's exceptionally good, often in relation to food. Oh yeah, I've heard them say that in relation to food. So bussing, FOMO, and sus.
Well, you have a young child, so you have to like know his lingo.
Yeah, when he says this to me, and I'm like, let's speak English. All right, it was amazing to have you. Thank you. If you would like to leave any last minute words of wisdom, which I love with the couple things that you just said before, this is your time. If not, I want to thank you so much for being a part of the show. Qué honor tenerte a ti aquí hoy. Hay que meter el español. We were in Hispanic Heritage Month, so qué honor tenerte, doctora. Muchísimas gracias. Muchas bendiciones. Muchos amor a tu mamá. Te quiero mucho. Y I cannot wait for what you have in store for the Hispanic Affairs Advisory Board in this coming year.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm working hard to get our board to 26 members. Just today, I received confirmation from another commissioner that she's appointed to, and I'm working on getting like really great leaders. It's not just putting an ad on the newsletter, like saying apply. So I'm selecting and I'm reaching out to those people in the community that I want them to be part of the board, so we can create change and we can help our community. So if anybody wants to know what we're working on, they can follow us on Hispanic MDC. We are in Instagram, Facebook, and also X.
I love it. Again, muchas bendiciones.
A ti.
Ay, gracias por estar aquí. Thank you all for being a part of our amazing show today. I had a great time with Dr. Marino. As she said, if you want help from Miami-Dade County, go to 311. Also, do not forget to subscribe to Candid with Claudia. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Spotify. Until then, we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
It was great. Thank you.